Hello there and welcome to this training. Super happy to finally release this. And in this video, we're gonna cover the exact step-by-step process we implemented for a solar company that didn't really generate any good results from their paid campaigns and is now closing at least 4 to 6 installs every single week after implementing this exact system. So I have everything you need on this exact Google Docs right here. And this training might even get a little bit long as I'm breaking down the exact process step by step. But I promise you, if you watch this video through, you'll get immense value from it. So as usual, you can DM me Drive on Instagram to get my Docs Master Drive full of all my trainings I've been releasing here on YouTube, including this one, right? Just find my YouTube link at Just Carols, go in there and DM me Drive and you'll get the Master Drive. And as always, subscribe and engage for frequent videos breaking down every insight I'll ever get from working with solar reps and companies across the country. And another pro tip is watching this video at 1.5 speed and keep full screen to remove any distractions. And this is just so you can get the value quicker and so you can implement right away. And in this training, I'm breaking down the exact reason why your current solar lead gen strategy is costing you over 50K per month in sales by not having in place right now. And I'm going to walk you through the exact steps you can take to turn every lead campaign from now on into winners that bring in serious profits, okay? So if you're a solar company, installer, sales organization, or experienced sales rep who's looking to ramp up leads and appointments, this is for you. If you're tired of being burned by marketing agencies that don't know what they're doing or getting overpromised crazy results without any proof at all, this is for you. If you know you have the potential to be making much more, but you are being held back by your current vehicle of getting there, this is an absolute must for you. Now, let me tell you who this training is not for. This is not if you are just starting out as a solar company and has zero sales experience. If that's the case, then by all means, go out, knock doors, and call shared lead lists to learn the skills hands-on. This video will not be for you. This video will not be for you if you're not open to expanding your marketing strategies and invest your cash flow into ads or softwares. This is not for you if you want to follow outdated lead generation tactics and not adapt the way online solar sales are developing. And this is not for you if you're uncomfortable dealing with wealthy prospects and large deal sizes. And here's the truth about solar lead generation that no one else will tell you. You can absolutely scale a solar business to a consistent 7-figure run rate without racing to the bottom with your pricing, having insane knocking routines, or worrying about the competitors in the same market as you. However, many companies, organizations, and reps aren't capable of doing so because they don't fundamentally understand how to leverage their capital instead of their time to generate thousands of exclusive leads and appointments like clockwork. They don't understand how to speak directly to their audience's problems. And also they don't know how to properly funnel the attention they generate with the no-brainer offer that their audience desperately needs and wants. Because homeowners need key components of belief-shifting marketing in order to really understand that they save money with panels installed. And fourth, they do not know how to build trust with their leads to make the sales process feel smooth rather than forced and pushy. But if you're watching this, you're already on the right track in stopping yourself from making simple, avoidable mistakes. And here's a limiting belief you need to protect yourself from, because there's no such thing as bad timing, ads are not worth it for my company right now, or oh, I have too much competition, right? People will always be looking for more of that thing they absolutely need, but didn't know they did before receiving the right kind of marketing, right? So that's like your offer, messaging, brand, whatever, on their feed. And when they find it, they will always latch on and happily be willing to pay for your panel, service, and knowledge. Now, if you want that to be you, then I'm going to break everything you need, including how to navigate around the issues above, how we managed to help Ask Solar, PX, Modernize, and Lead Genesis get so many qualified sit-downs in their calendar that they were barely keeping up with the amount of sales calls they had to attend. An in-depth action plan on how to build your own golden edge system that we use for the case studies above. And fourth, how to do all of this without wasting your money on ads that bring in dead leads or get a hold of homeowners who can't even afford solar in the first place. Now, before diving in, let me quickly give you some quick context of who I am and how we got here. So I started this agency around 2.5 years ago to help specifically coaches scale their influence and attract more leads with ads and content. And my Instagram is actually still up. Sometimes I even post on it, right? Carol Motions. I'm mostly using my solar Instagram right now, and you can even find my old Instagram, right? Just type in Carol Motions and you can find it right here. And I was selling high ticket branding and social media services the exact way I'm breaking down in this video for myself to get warm leads on the phone. And I knew this golden net strategy would work even better in the solar space, and spoiler, it does. And after trying it out, I managed to boil every stage of the pipeline into math, and that way be able to replicate the system again and again for solar companies out there. And just so you know, this training is based on my own experience on testing and tweaking like a madman, but also from investing over 25K in growth programs, from 7-figure consulting companies like clientacquisition.io that helped us streamline fulfillment and solve more problems in the solar space, from marketing coaches to stay updated and always bring in the best performing marketing angles, but also from sending over 40K cold DMs, doing a lot of cold calling and spending thousands on ads myself. A lot of agencies actually use this exact system for my business to generate leads as well for my clients. And with that out of the way, let's start breaking down the outdated advice you've probably gotten so far, right? And that is, you need to find a way to generate leads and sell to it. Generate leads, sell to it. Like just keep that cycle going, right? So that could be knocking doors, buying lead lists, lead ads, landing pages, doesn't really matter, face-to-face sales, phone or Zoom call sales, or just go in and fill in their information for you to send them over a quote. And it sounds kind of like, oh, trust me, just, go on a knocking spree, work with a lead provider agency, blast out ads on Facebook, call everyone and their uncle, and you'll scale past $1 million a month. And there's a lot of people that really preaches all of this stuff. But if you actually study their success, and generally the common thing for most successful companies and personal brand in the world is not the fact that they've been able to generate a lot of attention, or in this case leads, is that they own the data to stay relevant. Door-to-door and cold calling is the absolute lowest leverage task, since you're trading a lot of your time for money, right? And I don't say that it doesn't work, because knocking doors can absolutely help you scale your business and really get a lot of clients in this little space. But if you don't have all the time in the world and want to scale consistently past 7 figures a year, scaling the volume of knocking and calling is just a mess. And then there's ads. And looking at it like leverage wise, they're amazing, since they use your money to work for you, with a more compelling offer than anyone can do in a cold context like door-to-door or cold calling. But ads can be very unpredictable and unprofitable as well if you aren't doing them right. Because anyone can click the boost button or watch a quick video on how to run ads and spend a few $100 to get targeted attention instantly. But if you really think about all your own personal high-ticket purchases for stuff like mentors, services, and products so far, I'm willing to bet that they've all been after consuming content, testimonial, and information. So why should it not be the same for you when others try to buy your stuff? So here's why, insert your vehicle from above without owning the attention is not scalable long-term. First of all, you're pitching people who has been pitched a million of times. You're trying to sell a solution to someone who don't even know their problem yet. They have the leverage since you paid or forced yourself to show up on their dialer, Facebook feed, or front porch. Even if they show up to a call, you still have to do a lot of selling since they don't really know that you existed just a week ago. And that you're making content and ads that isn't really relevant for your audience in the first place. And what is all of this equating to? Well, low conversion rate, expensive lead prices, and headache closes. Instead, what you really want to do is attract quality attention with good performing ads. You want to own the data coming in. You want to collect as much data as you possibly can. You want to warm the data up with emails, texts, and content and dials, and either make them self-book, which is the ideal case here, or book them in yourself if they don't pull the trigger. So here's the golden net strategy, and before we dive in the exact specifics, please don't fall for the shiny lead price below $10 or whatever people will promise you. Optimize for cost per acquisition instead. So how much did it cost you to actually acquire a new client? That should be your biggest objective on what you're optimizing for, not how much a lead costs. Like, who cares about the leads? You care about making business. In a period of high inflation rates, quality lead prices will only become more and more expensive if you're marketing your product the same way as everyone else in your market, targeting the 3% of homeowners ready to buy right now. Because in order to run profitable ads, we need to have the lead spend more time warming up on the offer and product. And that will never be the case with the cheap lead that came in from, an instant form lead ad. And let me break down exactly why I say this, because let's look at the market as a whole right now. And I got this from a book called Sell Like Crazy from Sabri Subi. I can highly recommend you also reading it. But basically, this is how the market is looking like. You have the 3%, right, that everyone is going for, because They're ready to buy now. They need solar. They want it. They just need someone to come and sell it to them. Then there's the 17% of the market that is in information gathering mode, right? They want to save on expenses. They're kind of figuring out, okay, well, what's kind of the best options I have right now? Then there's 20% that is problem aware, right? They know that they should probably do something, but they don't know what. And then there's the 60% of the market who don't really know they have a problem yet. And by just doing traditional old direct response marketing, you will always go for the 3% that is ready to buy right now. But guess what? Your competitors are as well. And every outdated YouTube tutorial or overpromised marketing agencies has preached direct response marketing and cheap leads as if it's the thing that matters, right? However, this isn't 2018 anymore. Everyone wants to do business with the 3% of the homeowners in your market that knows they need to get solar right now. And because of that, everyone is also targeting their ads against them. And if you don't really know the advertisement platforms yet, it basically functions as an auction house where everyone is bidding for the same kind of ads. And if everyone is bidding for the same audience, well, the cost per lead automatically will increase over time, which in turn also creates the opposite effect of window shopping and racing to the bottom with your pricing. And here's the golden edge strategy, which I truly believe is one of the best marketing funnels you could ever have in the solar space right now, because every lead has their own unique cooking time depending on their buyer awareness level, right? Which we just talked about in the triangle here. So you want to do the same kind of thing where you run an ad, right? You want to have them sign up, but instead of just calling them up and hoping that you can book them in, give them the option to send them over to a landing page where you have content, educate them, right? And then give them the option to actually self-book, and they could go ahead and apply to work with you guys. So it could be stuff like, what is your credit score? Where are you based? What are your expenses? Stuff like that. If they don't book in themselves, but they've actually visited the page, they're one step further along in the buyer journey. So what we usually do with our team, that within 10 minutes, because if you do this within 10 minutes and call them up, the response rate of them actually picking up the phone is 70% higher. So what we do internally is that we pick up the phone and call the leads as soon as possible if they don't go ahead and self-book on the application page. So call them up, ask them the same questions that is on the application form, and kind of just come from a value perspective of actually educating them a little bit more about your service, and then getting them booked into your calendar. And if they don't pick up the phone, we don't really stress it, right? We want to automate the nourishing time because we know that they might not be ready right now to book in. So we have a 6-week email and SMS sequence in place that basically just send them over value, right? I call it the value sequence. We educate them around solar. And why it's super important for them to switch over right now, and what is the pros and cons for them by doing it, and the cost of inaction by them not doing it. And the way we kind of think about this exact step right here is that, one, we want to eliminate the option not to self-book, right? Because if we have the right marketing angle and we give them everything they need in order to learn about solar on the landing page, then they should be able to self-book as well, right? But of course, people are not always going to self-book, which is completely fair. Then the next thing would be to delegate. And of course, if the client has their own dialing team, well, then we just send them over the exclusive leads, tell them how to do, send them over our scripts, stuff like that. But if they don't, or just want it hands off, then we take care of it with our US dialing team, right? So we call them up within 10 minutes to not exceed the 70% rule of, if you call within the first 10 minutes, there's 70% more chances of them actually picking up the phone. And thirdly, we want to automate, right? We want to automate the nourishing and all of the educating. And we do that with an automated email and SMS marketing sequence. So next step is obviously them either getting booked in or self-booking. And then what many people don't have in place right now is a pre-call sequence. So if you've ever booked a call with me, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You get sent over to some kind of landing page, send them over, free assets on what they can do right now to learn more about the solar space, send them reminders about the call and why it's important for them to show up. So you don't get as many no-shows, right? Everyone hates to waste their time on no-shows. And 2, to actually get educated buyers on a call. And 3, to let them know that this is a decision-making call, right? We want to frame it as them actually making a decision, and we want to help them do it. And you might ask yourself, okay, what are the key takeaways from this exact funnel here? First of all, it's scalable. I get asked a lot, like, Carol, I've tried so many marketing funnels for my solar company, but none of them were really scalable. Is this scalable, and why? This is really scalable because, as I just said, you eliminate the option not to self-book, right? You get people to self-book, which is like insane, which is really cool. You delegate all the outbound calls to someone else taking care of it for you, right? Making sure that they actually follow up with them on time and call them up in time. And 3, you automate everything in terms of the customer journey to help aid the sales process and make it more smooth. It is much more scalable than you just running an ad, calling them up, getting on the calendar, running an ad, calling them up, getting on the calendar. There's so many leaking spots in this exact funnel right here that everyone is doing right now, which you can clean up with a funnel looking like this. 2, you get more out of the same amount of leads, and you can generate 100 leads here and you might get 15 closes here. The third point is that this doesn't apply to the 3% of the market, but also the next couple of stages as well. And 4th, it increases the closing rate because we educate them as much as possible before the call and send them all the pre-framing they need in order to get prepared for the call. And also, this is a 4 to 6 week process where this might be a day or 2. So you tell me which is more scalable and what will make more sense in the solar space. Anyway, tying it all together, I just shared everything I do and all that our clients do to get results. So if you're set on scaling your solar lead generation process, you literally don't need any more, tactic or advice videos from anyone else to scale. And you might be asking, okay, well, so what now? What you can do is you can take this exact step-by-step process laid out in this document and put it to work, right? I'll release more videos on how to launch ad, how to do the copywriting, do the creatives and all of that stuff. So remember to subscribe. You can apply the frameworks. You can apply these frameworks and systems yourself to get similar results. But obviously there's always a lot of nuances that I couldn't cover in this video. There's heaps of things I couldn't touch on just because honestly, it all depends on your unique situation. Or option 2, you can work directly with us to have all of this implemented and managed totally done for you with 10 plus guaranteed sits monthly. But that's not the cool thing because we only eat what we kill. So if you don't close the deals, we don't get paid. Worst case scenario, you'll learn all of our systems, get a shit tons of leads and not pay. And best case scenario, you'll 5x your current business and have automated your acquisition for good. So there's no real situation where you lose. And if you're interested in learning more about what we do, feel free to book in a call. I have the link down below. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions. I'm sharing all of my solar knowledge on there as well. Subscribe to the channel and engage with this video in some kind of way if you found it helpful, because it really helps with the algorithm. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I hope this video was valuable. Take care, and until next time.